Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Thursday, July the 22nd. Also just want to point out I have to go get my COVID jab this morning, so I may not be able to do all the videos, but I'll just do my best and I'll update what's important, but we'll do the American and the Australian one at minimum. Perhaps I can do the other one this afternoon to see how I feel. Some people feel a bit woozy after they've had the jab, so I'll just see how that travels, but just to let you know. Okay, so with the S&P, I'm tracking two counts, and I just want to explain both of them, and we'll pick up strategy from both of them as we go. Okay, so the bottom line is, really, as far as I can see, is that we're still in an uptrend, and we'll be in an uptrend, while the Feds are still printing. Of course, the inflation creates a bit of a problem in that regard. But all I can really do is, when we're tracking two counts, is revert back to either the trading levels as support and just simple support and resistance, or dive into the intraday counts and just keep working those small counts and staying on the right side. And the right side will be staying on the side of the impulse waves, the 5-wave structures. And to me, they're all sort of heading to the upside. So this is an impulse wave as wave 1 here, wave 3 is an impulse wave 5 is an impulse wave, 2 is a corrective, 4 is a corrective, and so on. So one of the things here is that, in stocks, we normally see, because out of 1, 3, and 5, one of these is going to normally have an extension in it. In stock, it's normally wave 3. But because the Feds pump so much money into the system during wave 1, well, then there would be a good excuse for wave 1 to be the longest in this particular case. So I acknowledge that, but at the same time, we're still, there's no reason why wave 3 can't be the longest. So that's my yardstick, and then putting it up to here. So it should take us up to, at minimum there. I mean, normally wave 3 we could add another 62% on to the length of this wave 1 here. That will take us to 5,000. So realistically, this can be up here at 5,000. So I've got to account for that as well. But like I said, and we'll look at that, we just got to go step by step, and that's what we've always done, and that's what we'll continue to do, and that generally keeps us on the right side. Sure, I make a few mistakes here and there, but they're pretty much corrected pretty quickly. So yeah, we'll look at this count with wave 3 being in here, and we'll also look at a count with wave 3 being further up here. But we do need that intraday wave structure to give us that direction. So we're here at the moment, so we can go to so the takeaway here is that wave 3 is still too short, and at minimum it should take us to 46330, but can take us to 5 in that case. So where are we here? Just follow this moving along. So there is a count that can take, because we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here and whatever, and count that here. We can look at that later on the intraday basis. But it's possible that there's a wave 3 there. Now, technically, if that was going to pull back, it would pull back to the 38.2%, which is here for this. At this moment, we've just got a simple A wave, B wave, and C wave here, and then we're going to go up from that. That's what we've got. But technically, this would be the right thing to do, see it here. That would mean that we would need an impulse wave down here and a corrective wave, and then another impulse wave to make this wave 4 over there. That would be about right. And also too, because this wave 4 is 1 degree higher than this wave 4, that means that this wave 4 technically really should be 60% bigger than this one here. So at this stage, we're not really there. The other thing that I want to point out too is that with the trading levels, if you've been around long enough, you'll know that when we've got a large number here, a large number will always have group 1. And in this case, with this medium level here, halfway between two major levels, 3,000 and 5,000, this group 1 is, or minor group 1, is 1, 2, and 3 here. And we know that once we get tested support on this level, that means the market will not be pulled back to this number here, because getting tested support here means that the orders are built up on the buy side, the demand side, and folks will start to just look at the 500 at that point. Yes, of course, they'll think of 400, but 500, that's what people think of. 5 is the second strongest number. So that's like a magnet, and that will be pulled from there. So once number 3 becomes tested as a support, then it would to that number and not back to this number. So we've seen this move back down and test lower here. Normally also too is that this number 2 here, the 200, when that becomes the retested resistance, once the market's been playing up here somewhere, and then if it finds the 2 here, the 200, or the number 2 as I call it, as resistance, then it will be pulled back down to the 400 at that point. It can spike down to 1.5, and it does that, like here, it does that often, but then recovers. So you need to also have the 200 as a retest as well, you know. So playing with the numbers, the simple support and resistance, after a while you get to know how they move and how they, you know, how it works a little bit. So do we have tested support on 300? That would be the question. Well, in very simple terms, it would be tested as support and confirmed if it took that top out. Now, if it took that top out, then we could wipe this wave 4 out here. Because the market will look to the upside at that point. It's that sort of simple. It's just like making a new high here, for example, you know, because it's tested lower and then making a new high, then that's what you need to run with. And that's what we'll run with over here. So that's that sort of discussed to a point. So let's just keep taking this particular wave count in a little bit further. Still looking at this top here, we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave, but I guess I can't see it like that, you know. It's sort of, it doesn't really work for me, and still we would need to see this realistically here as wave 1 at this point. Yeah, so this would have to be wave 1 coming down here at minimum, because there's an A and a B and a C here for wave 4 here. It just doesn't make sense. It's just too small, you know. Putting a wave 4 here just doesn't make sense. It's just too small. So yeah, well, one of the takeaways from here, of course, is that if these tops get breached here, then we want to be long. But it's not always that simple. I mean, I like to buy new highs, but then we also need to refine what we're doing, because we know that if the market does come up to here, then it's going to react from here anyway, isn't it? So really we need to you know, establish what this move is up through here, and if it's an impulse wave or corrective, and then look for a setup on this side here for this second high here at minimum, you know. So anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit further. So just buying the new highs here, sort of okay in a way, but if you want to refine it, especially if you're using futures contracts, well, obviously you've got to be all over it. It's a different ball game altogether. So this move down through here can be counted as corrective. So the market can move up through here. We've already moved through the 61.8%. We're probably close to the 78.6, the square root of 61.8%. And I can still see on the intraday count that we've still got a little bit further to move up here. So that's pretty high for a B wave. Yes, we can have an expanded flat that could take us above here and then take us down below here as the expanded trap correction. You know, there's three types of flat corrections, but in this case what we'd be looking at would just be a regular flat in this instance, staying within this range here. Okay, so with this one here, I think we could pretty much leave it at that, but we'll just check on here. This is just the hourly chart. This is what we'd be looking for Thursday to be a bear day. So we want to see Wednesday being the midweek high, and Thursday can open higher and then trade lower for the day. So what we're really going to see is we're either going to see an impulse wave down here, or we're going to see a corrective wave down here as an ABC pattern, and then further up on the Friday. So we'll be looking for you know, for this second high here to be going long on. Otherwise we're going to be heading down further at that point. So it's going to be quite sort of simple. This is either going to be wave 1 or wave A, and wave B or wave 2 and wave 3 coming down, or wave C. So we'll get into that a little bit more. So now I want to have a look at the other count that I've got here. So that would be, and you've seen this one before, this is more bullish. So it's looking at wave 1 and 2 here, but the length of wave 1 here that I've got here, I'm looking for it to be where it should be, up here at 5,000. Now obviously you know, there's a lot of emotion around, you know, when you're calling something out further out in the distance, when there's a lot of things going on in the world, you know. So it's always tricky, but all I can do is just keep working the intraday counts and keep checking where support is and making sure that we're on the trend. Now we've been doing that all the way up pretty successfully, I have to say. So we'll keep doing that, and if this count is wrong, well then we'll be able to pick this up, because you know, if that other count is right, and this wave 3 is sitting on the top here, then you know, technically we should end up back down here. So for that, the 4,200 as resistance would confirm that, but would also be able to pick it up on the intraday much earlier than that. But our question here really is that is the 4,300, the top of minor group 1, is that going to become the support? The tested support? That's the question that we need to answer, and it won't be answered until probably Friday. So anyway, this is this count with wave 4 here, with 1 here and 2 here, and then this here would also just be wave 1 and back for wave 2 here, and then 3, 4, 5. So it's going to take this up a little bit further. That's probably a little bit illusionary there, and that can go up here somewhere. I mean, I feel better about this, but one step at a time. Yeah. So we're looking for, here we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, the fourth wave, and then the fifth wave, something like this, as a bit of a mud map to get to the next pub, so to speak. They were the days. Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's a long way, but let's just keep working this particular count. So on the, just go to the intraday. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here from wave 4 as 1 and 2. Let's open this up a little bit here. So the thing I like about this, you know, is that we've moved up here as wave 1 and we've come back to the 61.8%. I like that. You know, it's just fitting. And also too, wave 2s are normally quite sharp, you know, so that's all good. In fact, this is also starting to look like an impulse wave here as well. We'll investigate it further, but in a nutshell, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up for 5, which is going to take us a little bit higher up here. Then we'll have our ABC pattern here. We can pick this up on the 15-minute chart, which we were looking at yesterday. So just simply put here, wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave down here. And then this is the sort of important bit here really. So I won't pull this apart on a tick chart, I don't need to, but we looked at this yesterday as one, well, yeah, all the way up here for 1, back for 2, nice third wave up here, a fourth wave here, and then 1 and 2 here. And this third wave here is not quite finished. We've got a little 1 and 2 in here and 3 and 4 in here. So we've got this has got to go up a little bit further into, so we're heading up. Let's just get the trading levels sorted out a little bit, shall we? Because we talked about the minor levels. So we've got 4,100, 4,200 and 4,300. This is the top of group 1 here, and we're looking for support on this level. So between 300 and 400, we can drop down to from the minor levels to the sub levels. And once again, working with this number, we got the sub levels 10, 20, and 30, 1, 2, and 3, because the Fibonacci sequence is 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. And then it's just a rinse and repeat of that with the power of 10. So, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, or you could go 10, 20, 30, or you could go 100, 200, 300, and so on. Yep, so we've got a little wave 4, a little wave 5 to play out. It may go higher, it may not be this high, but we're in group 2 here, so we've got 10, 20, 30, then 1, 2, 3, 5, and then 8 here. When we talk about 8, we also talk about group 2. So group 2 is 65 and 72, and you'll see them play out here. But what we're looking for is, once that high comes in, we're looking for some sort of A wave, B wave, and C wave here. Now, this would be roughly the 50-60% retracement level back down here. It doesn't have to come back down here. It might just come to the top of group 1 here, the 30. We'll just see what Thursday delivers. We kind of want Thursday to be bearish, really. Then that will give us good, with a bullish weekly cycle, it will give us a good chance of Friday being bullish in that point. And this is where we go long from, this B wave high here. If you can't find that, well, then you'll need this top over here after that. But you do need this, don't go buying it here. You need to see the drop first, you know. You can also draw a line through here. We just got to be a little bit careful, because this is where this second high is interesting, because this is either going to be wave 1 here and wave 2 to the downside here, and instead of wave C here, it will be wave 3 here. So that's why it's important to a move above wave 2 here, or wave B, would confirm that this is corrective. So 43 sort of 50 area would be one trade, and then another trade over here. If you buy down below here, you could get trapped. You probably, of course, you get a better price, but you could get trapped. You could also probably work it, if, let's just say, humor me for a moment, that it comes down to 4-3 here, then you could use group 1 here to move in on, and that means that you would need to get a little classic trading levels pattern sitting in here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, you know, the routine, and then going long from that point there. So if that moves up, well, then you've got that in play there, and it'll look like this in the bigger picture. So yeah, look, markets at levels, markets can't do very much. So they'll either never stop and just keep going, or they'll hit the level and drop back and never come back. But if they're going to have a correction, which is 90% of the time at least, we'll either have a correction like this, the variation on that, or the overshoot pattern here, where it doesn't stop here, but the rest of it's the same, because the price point will become a magnet, and it will become the balance point. It will keep pulling the market to that number until, because once something is balanced, it doesn't need very much to tilt it in terms of volume. Fighting a trend in volume is a different thing altogether, but a balance point is what you're really looking for. So this is the setup to the long side, if that's going to occur. So up for 1, back for 2, up for one here, back for two here, and then buying the B wave and heading up higher. But if we're either going to get that, or we're going to come down. But anyway, we'll pick it up tomorrow, and we'll see how this pulls back here first, and we'll get a bit of an idea on that. But we'll try to get in on that. Okay, so that's plenty on that. The Russell here, we looked at this yesterday as a possible larger wave 4 here, but I think I'll just might have to go back to my original count where we had wave 1 sitting where the top of the B wave is, and copy this, and wave 2 sitting just in here, because it makes up a nice A, B and C wave in here for this. So I want to go into the hourly chart where we've had that count. I haven't seen it for a couple of days, but let's just bring in a bit more data. So yeah, so from the top here, we'd look at this as the A wave and the B wave, and then we're looking down as 1 and 2, and nice third wave here and a fourth wave here, quite high for a fourth wave, but we've seen that a lot lately, and then 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here. So that's finished now. So in this case, we've also got this bullish case. If this is a wave 2 here, then that needs to be a wave 1 here, just like we talked about with the S&P 500. Just clean this up a little bit. That's all good. So don't need to go in there too much, but if I just compare it to the S&P, I know that we've got a little thing like this, and it will be like this. And then up from that point, or it's just not going to come back from that point, and then we'll have to look at the wave 4. But in terms of trading, it's that second high here and this other high over here that you'll be looking for. So the timing on this, of course, will be Thursday afternoon and all of Friday morning for that shoring up of the bullish weekly cycle. So Thursday expected to be bear day, and in the afternoon session you watch for support to move in, and you can move in with that and start feeding the trend, and feed it all the way through, you know, to Monday really, if that's going to be the case. If Friday closes weak, if you see Friday being weak, then you know that we're not in a bullish market, and yes. So that's the Russell. And the Nasdaq here, I haven't changed the count on the Nasdaq. I've just kept it the same. I don't really see any problems with that. The only problem here, I think, is that this could be called wave 1 up here with a wave 2 here. But when I pull that apart, I got 5 waves in there, so I was kind of happy with that. But I'm aware of how it also could be counted as well. So in this move here, then if this is correct, of course this wave 4 could get a bit bigger and uglier. So it could also, you know, come down here as an A and a B and a C here, in line with the other markets, and then move up, or it can move straight up from here. Either way, we've seen the arrival here, and this is the reaction here, and then this will be the first high above the level, and then we'll see an ABC pattern across here, and then a move up from that point. So that classic trading levels pattern will be just this one here. So we've got the arrival at the moment. We're in this reaction here at the moment, and then we'll see the first high above the level, and then we'll see it roll over and so on. So the general idea is to sell over here and buy back over here, or depending on what type of trader you are, you could buy here if you're a trend trader, and here as well. If short-term traders, we should be able to trade this up through here. You know, it's a short-term thing, but yeah, generally, if I was trading stock, for example, and this moved up to $10 here, I would get out here and I'd wait over here for this, and that might be 3 months, it might be weeks, it could be 6 months, it could even be longer. You'll be quite surprised. So it's a way of you know, utilizing this time here as money in another market that's setting up. So rotating those stocks in is, you know, that's what I used to do. Still do a bit of it, but not much. But that's the way to move through it. Right, so let's just go. I think we're on the hourly chart for this, so just looking at that. So this is the situation at the moment. I thought I might have had 5 waves down here, and that's still possible. It's just that this top here, that one there, that top there overlaps this first little move down here, because I was looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But I may not be able to do that because of that overlap. So it would make this one here an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. So that's why I've got the wave 4 here. That could also just continue to move to the upside there. A breach of that, of course, would be done at that point. And also too, this move up through here, we're looking, it's above, you know, this, it's above its 61.8%, which is about here, and it's moving up to its, you know, 78.6 retracement level. So it would also have a little bit further to go here before rolling over, if it was going to roll over. And once again, it will either be a little ABC pattern here for up for wave 1 and back for 2, and then heading up higher, or we're going to get that come into play here. So an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for this. So let me just have a look at this on the tick chart. I haven't seen it for a little while. We're burning up a little bit of time here, so I'll have to be quick with the stocks, but I'll just check on this. Yeah, I did get, I tried to get 5 waves out of it, just wouldn't sort of fit on this side of it. Anyway, that's nor here nor there. One of the main problems with counting this little guy here is, let me just check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 and 5, yeah. This, let's just focus on this here. This is a little bit tricky down the bottom here. I can see that, I can see that. See, from this low here, I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but it may be from this low, it's tricky. So this is just for the Elliott guys. So if you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, so that could be the low here for that, because we've got 5 waves here. We've still got this move here, which looks like it's in like 5, and then a correction, and then another little 5 here. So it looks like it's in 3 waves. So I was thinking that this here could be the A wave, the B wave, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, because it's a clear 5-wave structure for the wave 4 here. Leaving this in a 5-wave structure low here, and then this side over here would be, this would be 1 and 2 here, and 3 here, and 4 here, and 5 here. That is a tad lower than that one there, but it plays best. And then you've got your ABC pattern here for that. Because this little move here, even though it's a tad lower, it's in 5 waves of 1 and 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, from this one here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third. So it's all of the third wave here. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So even though it's a tad lower at the top there, it still has 5 waves in it. It's not corrective. So then this would make this the ABC. So we have to look at this here. Just use these here. We have to look at this as either wave A here or wave 1, and that would be 2 here, and that would be 3 here, and 4 here, and then 5 here. I could look at this in terms of corrective moves here. You could look at it as, whoops, daisy, didn't mean to grab that one. We need this one. You could look at this as an ABC to here, as 3 waves to here, and then wave C over here with wave 5. That would be the other way to do that. In this last move here, though, like when, let's just check it out. We would have to call this. Let me just check. That's all of wave 1 there. So if we go a degree smaller between wave 4 and wave 5, or wave C, whatever you want to call it, we have to call that 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5. And we will be looking for 5 waves in this move. So this would be wave 1 here, and this would be wave 2. This would be wave 1 and 2 and 3. So this would be from this low, we need 5 waves, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. That would make the third wave, and then we need the fourth and then the fifth to make that third. This would pull back here for wave 4, and then we'd have wave 5 here of wave 5 or wave C. So we'd have a little move back and then another 5 waves up here. So you might want to reach that 15,000 as wave C. So it does take it pretty high. So where does that leave things? Yeah, see, that could take that back up to there. So that's going to be, looks like it's it's going to take us very close to the 15,000. So in that case, it would have a drop. That leaves the long position at the top here. This could just keep moving down from here, of course. It can keep moving down. But anyway, that's what we need to look for, that second high. Okay, so we need to look at stock. So let's do that. As you know, with Tesla, we've got a couple of counts for this. Most of them sort of head higher into this move up through here. There's just a couple of little things in here that are a bit of a bother. We may actually come down here first to the 61.8% mark before heading higher. Now this move from the top here down to the bottom here, we've had the rally here as we were expecting yesterday to the 61.8%. We've got that, and it's a turn at that point, but we can go long above that particular high here. So that's what we'll just have a quick look at now. Like I said, I can't spend too much time on stock because I've burnt too much time up doing the indices. But yesterday we were looking for this move up here into this box, which is part of this move back down through here. So we're either going to come down into the 61.8% and then move up, or if we do move up from here, then you can go long above here because we're at the 61.8%. So if that breaches there, then you can build in a position on that point there. Okay, so I'll just leave that at that. With Facebook, I've got 2 counts, but just to keep it really simple, we just need to buy this high here. Okay, if the market moves up, all we need to do is buy that high. And as I mentioned, I've got a couple of different counts which I'm not going to go into now because I'm just short on time and I've got to get through this. But let's just look at this. As I mentioned, there's a couple of different counts. So it's possible to put this here as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave. It didn't quite come down to where we wanted it to, and it still may do that. So we need to be careful about this. This can also just play out here, but this is the high here. We would have used this one. Now we can use this one here. So if that high is breached, then because that's the top of the B wave, then you can go long from that point. Now there may be a better way to get to that with a classic trading levels pattern on the midpoint, the 350 here. So you know that routine, the market moves up, and this is what we're sort of expecting with other markets as well. So you need that first high above the level and then go long from that point. But would probably, you know, at minimum would expect, if this is going to be wave 1 up here, would expect this to be pulling back at this point. So that will also give you a second chance to move into this on wave B high here, with the same with the indices, if you can get that, because that will also be an impulse wave. It could be, it looks like an impulse wave up that way. So then we'll look for an A and a B and a C coming in, a bit like this, an A and a B and a C wave, and we'll be going long above that B wave high there. Let's look at the next one is Square. It's just on the daily chart. Well, this is good. So we've got simply here, we've got wave 3 here. We've got an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and we're looking for wave 5 up here. We have one position in here. We're also looking to get a position above the level there. Really just wanted to prove that it was going to go up, because if it was going to fail, it was going to fail at this level here, at the midpoint, the 50, halfway between two major levels is the medium level. Now I can also count this up here, depending on how you want to play this here, with blue wave 1 up here and blue wave 2 here. But at the same thing, it doesn't really matter for the time being. That will become a little bit clear later on, once we get further structure up here. But the point is that we've taken this high out here, so you need to be long now at this point. Now you could obviously get a better entry, because there'll be a pullback and so on. You could do that, but I won't go into this today. We'll look at it again tomorrow. But yeah, and it's a stock. It doesn't have to be perfect in this instance, you know. So yeah, we've got a position here somewhere. That was always our plan. It's taken ages to get this going, but there we go. We're sort of there's a new thing starting. So this will also be 5 waves up here. There will be probably a retest, so you could buy it back at the 250 or 248. Don't get too picky about it, and then we should see this move up quite strong at that point. So we don't need this here anymore. This is all going well. Once the 250 becomes the support, we can bring any stops that we've got down here up under the 250, where it's been tested as the support. It's not support yet. This is the support here. Of course, there is support further up here, but we don't need to go to that just yet. So anyway, that's square. Don't need to do much with Apple as well. We're still looking for Apple to look, that wave 4 may be in on this one here already, and it can just go straight up. Otherwise, we're going to get this ABC pattern, and this is what we're trying to work out with the indices as well. So we'll just chill on this. In terms of long trades, we'll probably look at this wave 4 over here. We may, if this comes down here, if we do get a nice A, B, and C down here, we'll pick it up here and we'll do a trade up to this point. But otherwise, for longer term traders, it's here. If you're long in this already down here, then just buy the pullbacks here and be done with it, and we'll end up somewhere further up here with all of this. Right, Alphabet. This is a tick chart here, and it gets squashed up when I close it overnight if I draw on that. So we're looking here, that will be further up there. We're looking for wave 5 to move up of wave 3 here. So yeah, we can put that in here because that's in 3 waves there. I won't go into that. This is also looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So this is looking impulsive, probably a little bit more of a high there, and then we'll get something like this. And then move up from that point. So if you wanted to get in on this, then you could do it over this point over here. We've already got enough positions in here, but if you haven't got a position in here, then you can get one over here or on the pullback at least anyway. So we'll try and tune in a bit closer to that. We should be able to get that. And the next one is Amazon. And the last one is Amazon. So with this market here, we're looking for, there's a couple of issues with this. We've got this as wave 3 here and wave 4 here. I'm happy with that. Then we've got wave 1 here and 2 here. And, well, if I'm looking at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, then, you know, then we're still just looking, this will all be up much further up here. And we should be seeing a strong this third wave here should be up here somewhere in this regard. And wave 4 here. So we should see a strong move up here for this. We just, you know, because if that's not the case, then I've got to put wave 3 here and wave 4 here and then wave 5 here, all sort of squashed up and finishing in some sort of, situation here like this, some ending diagonally sort of thing. But I'm not seeing 3 waves in here. So yes, anyway, still a bit of a question mark, this one here for this. But otherwise, if I just do it normally here, then would be looking at this as wave 1 and wave 2 here, and then moving up from that point. So once again, we'll probably we'll pick this up tomorrow. I just want to see if we can get a better situation in there. This is just the tick chart here. So from blue wave 2 here, we now look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for 1, and then an ABC for wave 2. So that would be nice if that sort of plays out in its own little way, but we have to be a bit careful about this moving straight up from this point as well. So from this low to this high here, didn't quite get to the 50%, but that would be sufficient enough at that point to move up. So we need to be a bit careful about that. I mean, the thing here is that this wave 2 could already be over here for this. That's the other point here. We could have some sort of A, B, and C wave here already for this. So this could be all just squashed up in here already for this. I mean, it's simple, it's sharp, it's done everything that it needs to do. It's hit on number 5, the second strongest number. That's why it hasn't reached down into the 50-60%. So I don't know if we got this or we got that, but as a wave 2, as a 5-3-5 structure, that's all pretty good, really. So technically, we should be going long above wave B here. But in the meantime, let's see if we get 5 waves down here. We didn't get much of a rally in this market, but let's see if we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then an ABC, and then down again. I don't know what we're going to get just yet, so I need to get more data here before we make a move on it. The other point here too is from, let's just say that, I mean, if that's just, I should be able to work this out, because, let me just check on this, because if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, fifth. I'll need to pull that apart. I'm on 100 ticks. I'll need to go down to 10 ticks. Let's just have a quick look. 20 ticks. Can we see, what can we see? We can see, well, all of that would be 1. Yeah, it looks like a 4th and a 5th here, doesn't it? I just moved over to a 10-tick chart to count it. It does appear that we've got 5 waves down here, so that means that we just need to be a little bit cautious about this. I mean, it's a bit too simplistic for me to do that in terms of an A and a B and a C wave to this point. But what I do want to point out is that that's the lower end of group 2 there, and 720, not that it's a big deal. So I think if this, what we could do here, if this market finds support on 3,700 with a classic trading levels pattern here, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern, then you can go long from this point. We should be above the 61.8%, just in case this is an A and a B and a C wave, and for some reason I've got it wrong and it just continues to move up, because some of the market's looking like that. But otherwise, we'll just see this pop up to this number here and then drop from that point. Okay, so just be mindful of what we discussed here for that. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. The video is a little bit long. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.